the stress level. No, don't do it. Get a grip. This stupid video I just showed you. I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. You donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in, welcome back, folks, to a Feel It Out Friday. I don't know what to tell you. There's a lot. There's some things I really like that are going on that are newsworthy. There's a little announcement, a commitment update change that makes you have a little anxiety. And we're going to go over it. I got questions for the crowd. Let's have ourselves a Feel Good Friday. I look at this. Bob Kelly, not related to Brian, probably wouldn't be here. 92 days to USC. This guy, I like this. This guy's not even counting down to Miami or Texas A&M. He's going right to USC. I like that. That's good, Bob. Thanks for being here. So and all the regulars are here. Thanks for being here. We got our LSU representative. We have Baylor, man. We got everybody here. Thanks for being here in the morning. There's a couple things to go over, you guys. I know some stuff I feel good about, some stuff I don't feel good about. Here's one question I'm going to just put out to the crowd. You can type in the answer as the show goes along and as you think about it. What do you trust with the Notre Dame program entering this year, game 1 against Miami? What do you trust and why do you have that trust? There's an angle here I'm kind of working, and I'm trying to work through some of my anxiety, and I'm hoping maybe some of your answers are going to help me. What do you trust, and what is the basis and the foundation of that trust? Jay Grizz, that's a really good answer. You're short-circuiting my angle. Don't do it to me. Grizz giving me the biz early in the morning. It is, yeah, you want to talk about coaching personalities? Dabo and Brian Kelly is an interesting matchup, man. Both of those guys are quirky in their own way. That's a good one. It's a really, really good one. Dr. John, good morning. No golf today. ... until noon. Late tee off, baby. Stretch it out, get loose, get ready to go. You got all morning to do your stretches like a pro golfer. 5 hours before their tee off, they're starting their routine. I trust that Ash is going to have a short leash. Jay Grizz says, I trust the staff. Jay Grizz, I'll get to that. You're heading down the path that I end up kind of falling down on. And so, Andrew Gilmore, I have concerns about the staff. I have concerns about quarterback. I have Andrew Gilmore. I feel like you're absorbing some of my natural proclivities for anxiety here. I really do. And I want Andrew's on the line, and I want to hear his thoughts about some of the recruiting stuff going on. And I'm going to ask Andrew. I love the way his Notre Dame brain cranks. I like the way it works. And I want to see what he thinks about this trust question and all this stuff. So that's kind of what I want to go over today. We'll see what our time's like. I got some things I got to do, errands to run. And we'll see how we're doing. So as always, thanks for being here. You can find the program on YouTube. Do hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. You're already here. You may as well just hit it. It really does matter. It tells YouTube, hey, I like this, show it to more people. So if you don't mind, I appreciate it. Twitter, search bar, Always Irish, or at Always Irish Inc. Emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it, you can get it. If you don't want to see my stupid face, Nobody blames you. Just do audio only. And then you don't have to see my face. You don't have to worry about it. You could just listen to these lovely golden pipes that soothe your Irish soul. I don't think that's a good one either. So then go ahead and read. If you don't want to see me and you don't want to hear me, you still can't get away from me. Notre Dame on SI, read all about it. That's the ultimate way to get away from me completely, but still see my thoughts. No voice, no face, just words. I'm still cracking up. I can't believe how many people reached out to me when I started writing, and they were like, wow, you could actually like write sentences. It's just like a lot of people, I think, just thought I could yell. And then they were like, whoa, you actually put together an article. It's like, yeah, dude, like I can write sentences. I can write a paragraph. How dumb did you think I am? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Jeremiah Love, Marcus Freeman. They did the interview thing. It was good. It's just, you guys, it was good. They know, they're well spoken. I like what they're saying. Jay Carr, instantly fired. If you do that, instantly fired. And there were issues last year, not with the Notre Dame site, but with some other team sites. And they have ways to know if you're using Chat GPT and you're fired. Like, they have a way they can tell by the syntax or whatever that word is, and you're fired. So you can't do that. You could use it to ask, what's the statistics for this article, whatever. But if they see you copy and pasting it off Chat GPT, you fired. You fired. They know, they can tell what you're doing. They can tell what you're doing. Eric, good to see you, buddy. Had fun with you last Sunday in enemy territory there. Of course, it is always more fun for me when your partner's not present and he's remote. He was still chiming in, but he wasn't on the screen this time. How about Patreon.com/Always Irish? Former Captain, lead attacker, Mike Goolsby and myself, Jared Clark breaking down the film, ND Recruiting 01. I wanted to be a one-stop shop. I want it to be a one-stop shop. You get your opinions. You could get the source stuff between me and Goolsby behind the scenes, get all the recruiting stuff, the X's and O's. You got everything you need. You got everything you need. Okay? Jay Lehman's here. It's good to see you, buddy. Nicest guy in the internet. On my nicest day, I'm nowhere near as nice as Jay is to everybody. I don't know how he does it. The guy's up for canonization. You know what I'm talking about? St. J. Last name Layman. Anyways, let's do some of these chats and get into a little bit of the recruiting news, and I'll go right to the calls. I see people on hold, and I want to be able to get them there. Wolf, let's see what we got. I trust the team to be better than last year due to them being so young last year, returning many starters from the team that kept improving each week. I think I believe this is why this is an interesting discussion to me, because I believe you could take this any way you want. If you're finding things and you're thinking about it and you could find ways to feel confident in a lot of different areas of this team and give me reasons, that's great. If you're going to write, I have hopes, but anxieties about a lot of stuff, perfectly fair. And I'm sure Andrew's going to get into that. Perfectly fair. And I don't know. Some spots were young last year and some I feel like weren't. So it's like there was a little blend. So I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, Brendan, somebody asked a dream schedule. He has Northern Illinois in there. That man wants revenge, damn it. He wants revenge. Oh, look at that. John, you probably believe ChatGPT could run the White Sox and the Bulls better than I can. Yeah, just type in what should I trade for? Who should I pay? Let the machine brain figure it out for you. It can't be any worse. Still have not watched one inning of White Sox baseball, and I'm darn proud of it. I don't need I don't need that frustration all summer. I really don't. Notre Dame's enough. I don't need that misery every day. Okay, that my team sucks. My main man Martinez, it's a $10 holler. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. Good morning, Always Irish Nation. 150 days sober, 62 days till the greatest tailgate in all the land. I don't know about that. You're really building it up. 45 days till kickoff of the greatest program in the land. Onward, Notre Dame. I mean, the most important part of that is that you're healthy, man. You got your head on straight and you're healthy, and everybody's proud of you. Not an easy thing. And I'm proud of you, and I'm happy for you that you're in a better place. What's your favorite Coldplay song? You guys, here's my thing. You know the story by now. It's hard to avoid it. Millions of people have an ongoing affair all over this country all the time. Judge it, you're wrong, whatever. Keep the judgment out of this. Just factually. Millions and millions and millions of spouses have an affair going on all over the country. To think that you could go to a public place with like 70,000 people and that would be safe, you get what you got coming. Like, even if you accept that it's wrong to do that at all, there's smarter ways to do it and dumb ways to do it. The arrogance to think you're going to go to a concert venue with 50,000 people and nothing can go wrong and no one will see you and recognize you or anything. You had it coming. You double had it coming. Whenever you're doing that kind of thing, you're asking for trouble to begin with, no matter what. Doing that at that concert is hilarious to me. It's like you just thought I'm a rich CEO and no matter what I do, it's going to be okay. It was not okay. So their favorite song is Trouble in Paradise. Oh, I hope you have good lawyers. Like, I don't know, man. That's ballsy. That's ballsy. You're going to do what you're going to do, but you can't be there with 50,000 people in some concert and just think there's no way this could go wrong. So, baby, there's some explaining to do there, but that's what I go. Trouble in the paradise. Ooh, you in trouble. Oh, boy. That's a bad one. That's a bad one. $10 holler from Callahan Auto Parts. Laid a bike down at work, severe concussion. You were saving my life. Due to that, I could only listen to this stuff. That doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good. Severe concussion. Yeah, you know what, everybody? You know what we can agree on? If you have a severe headache or a concussion or a migraine, you should certainly tune into this show. I'm sure it'll just soothe your headache right down. The irony that a guy with a severe concussion, probably a commensurate migraine, being like, you know what I need to do to help ease into this day? Listen to John's soothing voice. The Grizz giving me the biz. He believes in the staff. It's a fair enough answer. And you're leading me down the road I was going to travel down anyways with that answer. It's interesting. $5 holler from the Rotate. I feel like it's been a while, man. Good to see you. Maybe I missed it, but that's a pretty easy name I usually see. Mason, you're calling me on my regular cell phone, not the call-in line if you're trying to do that. V1 Rotate. Did anybody hear that beep? Or is it just in my brain? How come when you go to 247 Sports recruiting rate, because it shows ND with 21 4-stars but 0 5-stars? Don't we have 2, including? Don't get me started on how to do these calculations, bro. You got the 247 ranking, then you have the composite ranking that's different, sometimes higher or lower than that, and then the overall number. I don't know how they do it. I'm not good at math. I'm just not good at math. So don't ask me. Yeah, it's all sorts of confusing. How you have the composite rankings, then you have their individual rankings, then you have the number tied to it, and then it moves. Don't ask me to calculation. I'm not a mathematician. That's for darn sure. Darn sure. Andrew says, Ash, I like him a lot, but no DC is a guarantee, especially with the tough September schedule. I don't trust Gino. What has he done that makes you trust him? Nice guy, but I don't trust him yet. Andrew, he's looking for a reason to trust you. Jay, I've noticed development of players has gotten better the last few years. That is the brightest thing. There's no doubt. The evaluations have been pretty good in the recruiting, even with some lower rated guys. And I think you could say the development once they get there's been pretty good too. Pretty good too. Johnny 5 stars says slip. Thank you. At least I get 5 stars somewhere. I'll take it, baby. Mikey pulls $5 holler dream schedule. A lot of people will probably hate this. It would look a lot like it would have a lot of Big Ten teams on it. Don't throw anything at me. I'm ducking. I'll be honest. When you first said that, I would. There's a lot of Big Ten teams I'd like to see on a dream schedule. And I'm not saying join the Big Ten and give up independence and boycott Johnny for it. I'm not saying that. But you would have USC and you could revive a lot of hot rivalries. And in that Big Ten, it would look a lot like a Big Ten schedule. You could also add an Oregon on there now. Like it would look a lot like a Big Ten slate, to be honest. So I just think that's kind of where I'm at with that. V1 rotate. It shows 0 5 stars for the class rankings, but then you click on Notre Dame and it shows top 2 players are 5 stars. I told you there's this difference between their rankings and the composite one that takes all the stuff. I don't know, man. I ain't no. It's not my world. I can't follow all that stuff and do it the way you're supposed to do it. Okay, let me get a couple recruiting things, and then we'll go to the calls, see what you think real quick. I'm only going to take a couple minutes. I don't know about this Elijah Golden news, pushing back the commitment date. I don't know what you make of that. I don't know what you make of that. If you were assuming Notre Dame was in the lead and in position to grab this guy, and then he's pushing it back, and that was your read on the situation, that makes you nervous. If you had no idea what he was going to do or whatever, then it's a neutral thing of like, I really don't know where I'm going to go. I need a little more time. Maybe that's more neutral. But I think a lot of people, including me, thought that guy was Irish. And then you're pushing it back. I don't know. Everybody's offering the guy whatever. Like, now's that time. Make your pitch, make your offer. Everybody's offering something. So I guess how you look at that depends on the starting point you're coming from. I really do. I think that's what it is. If you were saying that commitment date before it got changed looked like you thought it was going to be Notre Dame, then this is not good. And I think a lot of Notre Dame people, including me, felt really, really good about it. And I still have not exactly heard that it's awful news or like whatever. Mason just called me. He's the guy that has the recruiting information. Maybe that is what he was doing. Mason, call the call-in line if you want. You know I'm live. I don't know if you called my cell on accident. So I don't know. It's anxiety there is probably fair because I was feeling really good about it. And I don't know what to make now. But I will say nobody's reached out to me and said, oh my God, a horrible news, unless that's what Mason's call was and I just missed it. Of anybody saying, yeah, it's not good at all, and that the bags are getting higher and we're not doing it. I don't know. Next, Fong Bomb and Tom Loy on the recruiting beat saying Notre Dame's in prime position to land rival second-rated QB in the 27 class, Teddy Bear Gerard. To be fair, some other outlets don't have him ranked quite as high as rivals with the number 2 quarterback there. I'm just trying to be balanced and fair. And there's nuance to this one as well. Notre Dame landing a quarterback from Georgia and doing so early, like a quarterback from the South committing to Notre Dame early, and it hasn't happened yet. They're just saying Notre Dame's in prime position. What could go wrong with that? Notre Dame thinking they got their quarterback from the South locked up for many months. What could possibly go wrong with that? We just went through that. It's a deuce repeat, baby. It's a deuce repeat. Southern QB, big time offers all over, and Notre Dame got burned for it before. So does that, and it's not just that he's a Southern QB, but it's Georgia, and he's been offered by Georgia. What happens if Kirby really comes calling and the money starts coming in at an enormous rate, like the Chicago outfit in the 70s? The money just keeps coming in, and you kick it up. I don't know. Like, what happens, man? What happens? Is this a risk worth taking? Or am I totally out of line and you say different kid, different situation, different dynamic, it has nothing to do with it at all, don't worry about it. But I felt an obligation to at least bring up, we've done that before, felt like you were good and you weren't. But maybe you're saying every kid's different and you just can't, you can't judge that. Tex ND, but him and Freeman have a father-son relationship, John. Yeah, I can't tell you how many phone calls I made worrying about Deuce, and everyone told me he looks at Marcus like a dad. Yeah, a dad he never wants to see anymore. A dad he never wants to see anymore. That kind of dad. So I don't know. So what happens there if he commits and then Kirby comes calling? I don't know. Is it a risk worth taking? Then you're in the whole dynamic, you guys, of RKG versus high level guy with risk. That's a big calculation, and it's real big with quarterbacks. Most important individual position in all the sports. That's where you end up. You want an RKG, you could do it, and they'll love Notre Dame and they'll never flirt with anybody else. And if you want one of the higher rated guys, especially when they're from the South, you're going to have everybody calling, everybody offering whatever you want. So I don't know. I don't know where you fall on that. But like a guy like Andrew Gilmore that has anxiety about the quarterback recruiting, Andrew's been asking questions about Grubbs and what the high level is for Grubbs, that kind of thing. Is he good enough to warrant being the quarterback piece in this class? I'm going to talk to Andrew in a minute and see if he feels any better. If you landed Gerard, make you feel any better that you got a higher level guy coming, or what to make of that. So it's really, really interesting. And specifically with Teddy, it's not a commitment, nothing for sure, but all the signs point to Notre Dame being in great shape, and they just need to close. Loy said something like it's Notre Dame's thing. They just need to close the deal now, whatever. And Fongbaum putting in the prediction for Notre Dame. That's it, man. That sounds a lot to me like they know they're getting the guy. Like to go, they went as far as you could go without saying you're going to get the guy. That's how I read that little blurb there by Loy, and then seeing the Fong bomb from him, and then Loy. It just makes me think it's like they're not saying, but they're just saying. For that, it felt like they went as far as you could humanly possibly go without saying the guy's Irish. That's what I read it like. Like they put themselves kind of far out there, which tells me they might know something. They might know something. So I don't know what to make of that. But those are the questions I have for you guys. What do you trust and why? And with this recruiting stuff, do you have golden anxiety now? I kind of do. But again, I have not been told anything directly unless Mason just called my cell phone and I missed it. And he was saying trouble here, which it could be. He usually only calls me for Notre Dame recruiting news. Could be. But I haven't had anybody else come out to me and tell me, oh, no, it's bad. We lost this one or whatever. So I don't know. But that's an important piece of this recruiting class and a guy that you felt good about. And I'm going to mention again, I don't want to put pressure on Jared. I really don't want to put pressure on Jared. Jared Clark, our Patreon partner, is his head coach. And he's a Notre Dame player, former Notre Dame guy. So you want that. You want to feel good about that. But again, it's not up to Jared. I can't blame Jared if it doesn't work out. Like the kid's going to do what the kid's going to do. He's got to do what's best for him and his familia, my family. He's got to do what's best for his family. So who knows? I don't know. So that's some of the recruiting stuff that is in my mind. And with the golden thing, there's a lot of questions. Nick Shepkowski, good to see you here. The boss is in the house. Right, got to get my articles up. The boss is in the house. Good to see you, Nick. Hope you're doing well with the recovery there in your summer injury. Quite unfortunate. Hope you're doing better, not in pain. So that's kind of where I'm at, you guys. I want to know about the recruiting stuff, and then I also want to know. I want to know what you trust with this program right now, entering week one, and why. Those are a couple of my thoughts here. Andrew, let's see what's going on. It's been a while since we talked, a little over a month. Let's catch up. Good morning, Andrew.
Hey, what's up, John? Thanks for taking my call, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. It's been a little while since we spoke. Andrew, I got to tell you, man, you hit a lot of my natural anxieties. You kind of hit on, whether it's on Patreon or here. You kind of hit on them. Where do you want to start?
I mean, as somebody who's been kind of critical of Gino Guidugli, I think you gotta say if the rumors are true, and I think Wilfong did put in a crystal ball for Teddy Gerard.
Yeah, he did.
Because yeah, you gotta give him where credit's due. Because I was like, really, confused by how Notre Dame was handling 2027 recruiting. They're acting like they're Ohio State or something like that and can be all picky. I don't think Notre Dame is in that type of position. But hey, listen, you can't argue with results. If this guy's committing, he just got a huge boost. I think in the rivals rankings, on three rivals rankings, where he went from like, I don't know, 12th or something like that to the second best quarterback, top 60 recruit. So you can't argue with that. That's pretty good if the rumors are true. So.
Yeah. Do you have any of the Deuce anxiety? Like, I know you've talked before about the risk of going with the quarterback, down south and then getting him early and sitting. Is that unfair or fair to worry about? Or is it different kid, different situation, different year, clean slate? Or is that in the back of your mind that he's in Kirby's backyard?
Yeah, I think it has to be because it might be a different story if this is like a private school kid, because if you're going to a private Catholic school in Georgia, it's not all that different than, Midwest or West Coast. But this guy is definitely a public school kid from Georgia. So I think it's fair to keep an eye on. And then you want to sort of, I think you saw major warning signs with Deuce Knight, like as the commitment rolled on. So I think it's something to monitor. But yeah, because it's just there's a precedent to be set. Like if you're really coming in and getting, if this guy ends up being a consensus top 5 quarterback and he's in the heart of the South, even if it's not Georgia, I've always felt there's a sense of with the SEC schools that you can't allow a Notre Dame, Ohio State, one of the big northern schools to come in and pluck your guys away. So yeah, I think it's something to monitor. But at this point, I think we should just be happy and take a win when we can. So
yeah, it's and I thought of you right away when I saw that news and the crystal ball dropped. I thought of you right away because I remember you talking about the dynamics of this and the risk reward, and even like what part of the country are pulling kids from and the dynamic. So I was hoping that maybe that would give you, if this comes through, it'd give you a little confidence and comfort. Andrew, let's transition a little bit. What do you make of this?
Well, just real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just real quick on that. One thing that still just really I don't get is Notre Dame not doing more recruiting in California for quarterbacks. I just don't understand how many NFL quarterbacks can come from Southern California, and Notre Dame just really is very rarely in the picture. I get it that Tyler Buckner was from my hometown of San Diego, but like if you look at like Orange County, Los Angeles, like I think like last year, Tim Hyde put out a tweet or something like that where he counted like there were 11 or 12 starting quarterbacks in the NFL that came from Southern California. And it just still boggles my mind because like Ohio State, they're looking at 2 different quarterbacks in Southern California, and I heard a rumor that they're going to take both of them. So it just surprises me because those guys will go anywhere, and I don't think they're as risky as if you're going into the heart of the South, heart of the SEC, and trying to steal one of their guys.
Yeah, that's
so,
always.
I think it's weird that.
Yeah, that's always been something you've been on. Pat asks, does Marcus Freeman beating A&M maybe twice coming up, beating Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, taking the team to the championship, has that gotten them over the hump with how these Southern kids look and view Notre Dame in the recruitment process? It can't hurt. Like, right? Like, I think you could debate how much, but I don't think it could hurt that you have some skins on the wall and some wins there.
I think you can't hurt. I put more stock in the Georgia win because, I mean, let's just be honest about Texas A&M. They were a tough team, no doubt about it, and I think they're going to be a better team this year. But as far as last year, they finished, 8th or 9th in the SEC and pretty much did what they do every single year going 8-4. So, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that there's got to be you got to do this year over year. When you're in Ohio State, you're putting guys in the first round or numerous guys in the first 2 rounds every year. Then you can kind of go wherever you want. I just think, pump the brakes. I think if they can keep putting together seasons year after year, then you can be like a Dabo and you can go anywhere and get a quarterback. So
yeah, it's and then what do you make of the Elijah Golden news? I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. It's in the eye of the beholder. How you're looking at this totally depends on where your frame of mind was before this. If you thought Notre Dame was going to get that commitment at that earlier date and now it gets moved, then you have a lot of anxiety. If you honestly didn't know what was going on or not have an opinion or anything, then I don't know what you think. But what do you make of it, man?
Why it worries me is that if you look like, and honestly, we could go over the different classes, but if you look at interior defensive line recruiting under Freeman, it so far not. I has any interior defensive lineman panned out yet for Freeman? I don't know. I mean, I guess this will be a big year to see if any of them will, but I think it's kind of troublesome. And so, although like Washington is killing it at getting defensive ends in this class, Dunham and Ebenezer, those guys are some big time recruits.
God,
You still got to fill out
Ebenezer's such a good word. I want that guy to be good just because his name's Ebenezer. That is just old school, man. I love it. Ebenezer ain't no geezer, baby.
Yeah, no, great name, but you got to fill out a whole D line, and I worry about
I just like how you skated right by. You're like, I ain't here for your dumb joke, John. You're like, yeah, great name. I love that. So casual. You're like, yeah, great name. What about the play on the field? Andrew never changed. You sidestep that. You are not having it. I love you for that. That's great.
Sorry,
no, it's great. I love it.
Yeah, but yeah, I just think that they could have a defensive tackle issue coming up here because I believe Rubio's gone after this year. He's going to come in and be their top defensive tackle. They've had to go to the portal with Dawson. He's gone after this year. I don't think anybody thinks Heinisch is like he's a hustle player, a good player. I don't think he's a top end win championships type defensive tackle. So I think it's almost like wide receivers. It's such a position in need. You got to land these top guys and develop them.
Yeah.
Because I don't think defensive tackles are easy to get guys in the portal. Just ask LSU last year. They struck out in the portal and they finished 8-4. So
yeah. It's I don't know, man, but it's and again, I don't want to put any undue pressure on Jared Clark, but it is hard to imagine that Notre Dame wouldn't have like a good edge when the guy's head coach that has been developing him and working with them is a Notre Dame guy. But that doesn't guarantee anything. A guy's going to do what he's going to do for his family and his situation. But like, it has given me a little comfort all along this trail, knowing that Jared's the one he's with every day. So like, I like that, but a kid's got to do what a kid's got to do.
Well, in some ways, it might be the only reason why he's considering Notre Dame. Because like I think about Jalen Sneed out of he was from. Was he from Hilton Head? He is South Carolina. I know he's like in South Carolina, and I think the number one reason why Notre Dame got him was that his high school head coach was good friends with Marcus Freeman. So it's all about who you know. So maybe that's the only reason why he's considering Notre Dame is Jared Clarkson there. So think about it that way.
It's gonna be interesting. I don't know. So we'll see. And then Andrew, let's transition a little bit to the bigger picture question here. What do you feel like you trust entering this season? Week 1, Miami, not overall, like entering the year, that early stretch. What do you feel good about and trust, and why? A really open-ended question.
Well, I'm sorry, and people always say I'm a half glass empty kind of guy, and I am, because like I'll tell you that I think when you want to win championships, it's not about the positives you have; it's about stirring up the negative. So I would say, what do I trust? It's the running back room. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. You've got one of the most, I think, the second, and a lot of ND fans will get pissed, but I think the second best running back room until proven, because I still think that Love needs to break out a little bit more in order to say that this is the best running back room in the country. And then I think corners, like, you got Leonard Moore and Christian Gray. I've grown to really appreciate Christian Gray a lot more. I was pretty critical of him at the end of the year, but in hearing how Leonard Moore talked about how he did not want to play the field corner position. There's so much room that you have to guard guys, and Christian Gray stepped up, took that position, and Leonard Moore was able to settle in the boundary. So I think we're going to have really good corners. I think I think our defensive line is going to be decent, although I do worry about Rubio and Onye being the top defensive tackles, because they're both guys who had to spend time away from the team. So it's just like, are these the type of character guys you want leading your line? But I think other than that, you got to like our pass rush. I do believe that Ash is a good defensive coordinator, but you just got to worry a little bit because it's year one.
Yeah.
No one is perfect year one. But you got to trust Denbrock. I mean, the guy is no spring chicken. He's the highest paid OC, so he's got to give you some comfort that we're not going in with Jared, what's his name? The former offensive coordinator, tight end coach.
Yeah, Parker.
We're going with Jared Parker, and we're going in with Denbrock. So this isn't his first rodeo. But the real reason for my call was to talk quarterback. I think it's just amazing how, I saw this article, Carr is being listed like in the top 50 in terms of quarterbacks, and I just think that kind of amazing how fans are taking for granted what our quarterback situation is right now. I think that's my biggest concern.
Yeah.
Going into the year.
Andrew, it's fair.
Yeah, go ahead.
That is totally fair. And the reason it's fair is you haven't seen anything. So I know you haven't seen anything, and I'm not counting passes thrown in spring. I'm not counting like a red jersey, half blue and gold game. No, you have seen nothing with real bullets flying yet. And that leaves some risk. But Andrew, I think a lot of people want to just be positive and look on the bright side and think it's going to be okay. But your concerns there are totally fair because we haven't seen the guy in a real game. Brian says everything counts. It could count, but it counts 1/100th of what every snap against Miami counts as. Fine, I'll give it to you. Every snap counts. But 1/100th of the percent every snap counts in Miami is what the ones you've seen so far counts. So I'm just, there's a lot of risk. You could be on the upside if you want. I want it to go well. But anybody that says they have any idea what they're going to get out of Notre Dame's quarterback room this year is lying. You don't know. You think you know some things about them. You have some hopes, whatever, but nobody knows. Nobody knows.
And I would just add that I'm really confused by how we even got here, because I'll go back to spring. I mean, it's so rare that a team at Notre Dame's caliber has a legitimate 3-man competition, because you'll hear teams, there are 3 guys with potential shot to win the job, but pretty early on in spring, they narrow it down to a 2-man process. From everything I've heard and read, and I know some people close to the media at Notre Dame, it truly was a 3-man competition. And so it's really, I don't like that when you have 2 quarterbacks who they ended up going with who are totally inexperienced. Because you think about 2/3 of the time they were watching the other guys play versus them getting snaps. And then I just worry about everybody anointing Carr, who I'll just be frank, I really want to win the starting job. But then you just think back to what you heard during spring. I'm not coming out of spring thinking Carr kicked so much butt that they asked Angeli to leave. I kind of came out of spring thinking that Angeli didn't do enough to earn the job, and so there wasn't enough separation between him, Carr, and Minchie. And to be quite frank with you, the third quarterback, Minchie, got the most buzz coming out of spring camp. So what are we supposed to make of that? Is it because Minchie, something has clicked with Minchie and he's going to be a star, or does it say more about TJ Carr that even though when he came in as a true freshman, I mean, reading between the lines of what Tim Priester had to say, it seemed as though Notre Dame felt that Carr was ahead of Minchie, and now all of a sudden they're on equal footing. So I don't know what to make of it. I think it's the more I think about it, I think there is an actual quarterback competition they're not handing the job to Carr. That's my opinion.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I guess is that where you got to defer when you're looking at like nobody really has experience other than Bob Buckner, like or whatever, like a lot of experience. Is that where you have to like defer to trust the staff that they know what they're looking at and they must, like you said, there wasn't enough separation, so then you double down on the high upside young guys. Like, is that where you end up? Like, I don't know where else that leaves you between now and Miami to actually get some data other than to say you got to trust the staff that they believe in the upside. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you could say trust the staff, but I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I know a few people, and I read that article on Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers' agent came straight out and said during the postseason, Notre Dame negotiated with Quinn Ewers. So if CJ Carr was always the plan, why are they talking to Quinn Ewers? And then I have it on good authority. They also talked to Jalen Milrow.
Yeah,
now
I heard that too.
Serious things
I heard that too.
Yeah.
A lot of people said that was BS. I was assured that was real.
I was too. And then I couple in the fact that, like, you look at other programs when they sort of have the heir apparent at quarterback. That heir apparent, whether he's the second string or third string quarterback, is essentially taking second team reps, splitting second team reps at the very least. And that's not what CJ Carr was doing last year. And so I don't care what anybody says. Like there's a lot of spin that says, oh, CJ Carr was, him taking scout team snaps against Notre Dame's first team defense is like important or something. And I'm just think like, when I hear that, it's like, I don't know if people have ever been on a football team. Playing scout team quarterback means nothing. It seems like a waste of time. And in fact, there was a point in time where Carr was doing such little activity, they were putting him at scout team free safety. So it just, to me, it seems like, did they have, like, I don't know. That makes me question the coaching staff. Did they actually have a plan, or were they so focused on 2024? Because I think part of me thinks that after the NIU loss, all future plans got thrown out the window. It was all hands on deck to save 2024. And then they sort of did their planning in the postseason. Because what I don't feel good about at quarterback is, did they follow the right steps for development? That's what I worry about coming into this year. I don't think. Yeah. I think Carr and Mitchie are both really talented guys, but there's a right way to get the job. And so I worry that potentially they didn't develop these guys. And the way I think about it, it's sort of like a kid who didn't study for the final exam, and now you're cramming the night before. I worry that that's what's going on.
Yeah,
so that's my fear for the year.
It's an interesting dynamic, and that we just don't have any real data, and you're not going to have any until Miami to start collecting those points. So I think it's fair, man. I understand people want to think on the high upside and all that. Yeah.
All these people in the chat want to say, oh my God. Well, all I have to say is go back to what you read about the spring. Guys splitting equally. If Carr and Minchie are so awesome, they didn't separate. There was not an article put out saying Carr and Minchie are significantly better than Angeli. There's a big question mark about who they were going to go with, and most of the Notre Dame beat writers were shocked when they said Angeli was leaving. So I just put that out there that this quarterback job is not as settled as people think, and there is a legitimate argument being made. Has Notre Dame done enough to develop these younger quarterbacks? I truly believe that, because you begin to question, if Angeli was not head and shoulders better than these guys, why wasn't it automatic that Angeli was the number 2 last year? Why wouldn't you do what other teams have done, like what Texas did with Arch Manning, and make him the backup quarterback? So I think there's a lot to question, and I think that if everything turns out well and Carr comes in and throws a bunch of TDs, or if it's Minchie, the chat can feel free to say, Andrew, you just worry about nonsense. But I'm a guy who's watched a lot of college football, and I just have never seen where a quarterback was the 4th team quarterback, literally playing scout free safety, and then he like comes in and has a ton of success the next year, it worries me. I think there's a lot of development that had to be done post spring into fall. It's a
Yeah.
ton to cram in.
Yeah, that's something fair to think about. And I also struggle, Andrew. I struggle with the idea of like eventually you're going to want a homegrown young guy to stick, plant your roots in the ground and grow with and all that. Like, I think a lot of people, that idea sounds great in your head, but then you're also like, we're going to have a quarterback with no experience. Look at what could go wrong. Like, you can't circle that square. You know what I mean? Where you want to do the young thing, but the guy has no experience and that gives you anxiety. Something's got to give. You know what I mean? Like, I want to do this project too, but I also, you don't have the comfort of having experience. So I don't know where that leaves you. The beginning of camp's going to be really interesting how this shapes out. And with the O line, you don't have that long to have to put this all together. So it's going to be fast once we get into camp.
Yeah, I think so. I do think I think our O line's in better shape and then people think. I'm a big believer in that. I think I don't care if they're 300 or sub 300 pounds or not. I think both him and Wagner proved they're legitimate tackles. I think our O line is going to be fine as long as they can stay healthy. I think the big question mark for me is, can Ash settle in right away and keep the defensive production up?
It's a big question.
This quarterback situation, because this is prime time. Those guys are not getting eased into being the quarterback. I think they're going to their first two games, although they're not like the cream of the crop, Miami or Texas A&M, they're potentially legitimate top 15, top 10 teams. So that's a real tough way to start your career. So I think the whole season is on the quarterback's back. So.
Yeah. Yep. It's it is. I understand. I just think it's interesting how many different perspectives there are of people entering this season, of what they believe in and why, what they're anxious about it or why. The quarterback, my final thing here, Andrew, the quarterback thing to me is totally wait and see. I have no idea what I'm going to get. I am hopeful that he's going to develop quickly. I'm just telling you, you don't know what you're going to get, and anybody that says you do is lying because no one knows. And there's risk in that, but there's also could be upside in that. I don't know. Andrew, really good.
Well, I'll just end on like, because like there's this sentiment, especially on the message boards, that we're like whoever wins this QB job is the quarterback of the future. And I would say like 10 years ago, that would have been absolutely true. You're going to roll with the quarterback regardless. But I don't know how people can say that when you have a guy like Tyler Buckner, who was at one time a 5-star quarterback, who in his freshman year, they played him a lot and at times looked pretty good as a true freshman quarterback. But his NBA career ended essentially after 2 starts. Yeah. And Notre Dame had moved on, and we're in the portal looking for a quarterback by October. So it just shows you, like in this era, especially with Notre Dame, there are no things as rebuilds. So when you get made the starting quarterback in Notre Dame, doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a finished product, but there are no rebuilds.
Yeah.
And there are no guarantees that you're going to get multi-year starts at Notre Dame. So just, I put that out there.
It is interesting. I get what you're saying. Like the program's at a certain level, you don't have that luxury, and you either need to get up to speed or like we're going to do something else. I get it. Andrew, thanks a lot for touching base. It's been about a month, and I'm glad that I'm glad you reached out.
Thanks, buddy.
Have a good weekend. Oh boy, Tom. I know Tom wants to. Tom wants to go off. Tom, I'm going to get Pat in here real quick. He could go back to work, and I'll give you some runway to. I know Tom's going to go at some things Andrew said. What's up, Pat?
Well, so here's my thing. I don't think anything that Andrew said was necessarily wrong. Like he was the 4th-string quarterback. He's a redshirt freshman, so of course he still needs a lot of development. But what I think is the oversight is he was the 4th-string quarterback on paper, and then he had an injury, and so he didn't throw for a while. So he wasn't doing things because, or he wasn't in that position because he wasn't outperforming. It's either he wasn't able to perform, or Marcus Freeman was trying to protect his roster to make sure he didn't lose Angeli or Minchie because he wanted to make sure he had a three-headed race going into next year. Or I'm sorry, going into this year. And then the other part of it is about as the beat writers were shocked. I never got that impression at all. I was in the chat all the time saying that, Angeli's on the team until he's not. I was defending Angeli. I wasn't necessarily rooting for Angeli, but I was defending him. But then when he transferred, I wasn't surprised at all. And because the expectation was Angeli was going to leave. And it's because Marcus Freeman said to Angeli, which has got out through the press, was he wants to have a two-headed race. He can't split reps three ways. And so Angeli was told he's not going to get it. I mean, Andrew, they say that, but do they mean it? Like, everybody knew. I just don't. It wasn't a shock to anybody in here. Everyone was expecting it. Maybe that's fandom. Maybe that's fandom because people wrote off Angeli so easily because he wasn't, he wasn't a, superstar recruit coming in, and you got Carr, who is. But at the same time, again, Carr being fourth string in the depth chart was for two reasons. It was to protect the roster to make sure Angeli and Minchie didn't transfer last year, and it was because he got hurt. And so I'm not going to say Joe Montana was seventh on the depth chart when he took over as starting quarterback, because when it actually came time to play, Montana got moved up, and he was the guy that was next, regardless of what the depth chart says. So I don't read into depth chart. I don't read into that stuff. It's who's on the field when it comes time to play, and that's what matters. And we'll see. Again, I'm not rooting for either one of them. I'm going to trust the coaching staff to make the right decision. And both of these guys still need a lot of development. So I'm not, they're one's a junior who hasn't really played much, and the other's a redshirt freshman. So that had an injury and hasn't played much. But both of them have been in the program for like 2 years now. So Kenny's been over 2 years, and you got to remember, Carr was practicing with the team leading up when they're in a bowl game when he first enrolled as an early freshman. So yeah, so he's been around a long time. It's not like he's a true freshman rolling out there. He's been in the program a long time.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I agree with Andrew fundamentally. He's a young quarterback. He's got to develop. Everyone's got to develop. He's not Trevor Lawrence. But I'm going to trust in this coaching staff to make the right decision. So I'm not out there for Kenny Minchie. I'm not out there for CJ Carr. I'm out there trusting that the coaching staff is going to make the right decision, and I'm going to get behind whatever quarterback goes out there. And it's the end of the day.
Yeah, and you know what I struggle with, Pat, and I'm a part of this. When you're in spring ball, every day is a new narrative depending on the window of time they let you see. You know what I mean? You have them little 15-minute windows where you're able to see practice or whatever, and then an article comes out, Angeli was the best passer this day, and the article's written about it, and I react to it, and everybody whatever. Right. And then the other day, this guy shined, and everybody's doing their best, and including me. This is not a shot. Everyone's doing their best to write an article or do a podcast about the little window they saw and what it looked like that day. It's really hard, man. Like you're one day it's this guy's in the quarterback lead. The next day that guy looked better. And then you ride that. And it's just a tough dynamic. And I don't know ever what to make of it. Even some of my own takes are very temporary in spring because it's these little windows you see. Right. It's hard. It's hard. And that's not a shot. That's not a shot. Everybody's doing their best. It's just hard.
I will take a shot at the beat writers, though. And Andrew, I'm kind of surprised Andrew hangs on their word because he's had the same complaints about the beat writers. They're sycophants. They latched on to Brian Kelly and they blew the dude for 11 years or 13 years, however long he was there, because they didn't want to lose their access. And so Brian Kelly was the greatest guy in the world when he was there. And then the minute he jumped ship, they all dogged him. They all start writing the articles that you were talking about for 5 years leading up to it. I don't trust the beat writers for anything because they are not concerned with the actual development of the program. They're concerned with their own perception that their readers take on them. So, like the beat writers saying they're shocked, those guys Horka and Sampson, all those guys saying they're shocked. I don't believe that for a minute. I don't believe that for a minute because I just can't believe anything they say. I just don't. They're legacy old news media. They're not out there. They're out there to write a narrative. They're not out there to tell you what's actually happening. And I just don't trust anybody that's writing a narrative. You damn dog, that's a freaking battery you're chewing on. I'm my brother-in-law.
It's going to get shocked. You're going to have to explain what happened.
Freaking idiot dog. Yeah, so I don't trust beat writers. I'm not going to listen to beat writers. That's why I don't do any of that stuff anymore. I just don't pay attention to it. It's, number one, because you get like a mind rot from it, because they're out there, they're saying all this stuff, and none of it ever comes true. And if one of it does come true, they beat their chest like they know everything, but they completely ignore all the other shit they were wrong about. So I no, screw those guys. They're not worth it. And I don't even go to any other podcast. Like I trust what you're going to tell me is the honest thing, John. And if something doesn't break out to be that way, you're going to say I was wrong or I was given wrong information, and it is what it is. You'll never see those guys do that. Nobody once ever said they were wrong about Brian Kelly, even though they blew the guy the entire time he was here. And then they wrote all those articles about him after he left because he didn't matter to them anymore. And that's why I will never trust anybody like that. I don't care for them.
Man, it's so Pat, where does that leave you then? Does that leave you with, for now, for the run up between now and camp and into Miami, does that leave you saying you got to defer to the coaching staff that has a lot more information than we have about everything going on, and then you just hope for the best when we play Miami? Is that where you end up? I don't know where else you can end up.
Well, let's be honest about it. What good does it do me? What good does it do me to sit here? No, I do have to leave in a minute. What good does it do me to sit and worry about whether it's CJ Carr or Kenny Minchie? Because at the end of the day, all I have to go off of is who the coaching staff puts out there and how the kid performs when it comes to the game. That's all I have. I'm not a part of the program. I am a fan, just like everyone else in here is. I, too, watch a lot of college football, but I'm not at the practices. I'm not seeing what's going on. I'm not in the meeting rooms. I don't know. I don't have the pulse of the team. I just don't know. So at the end of the day, I am a fan, and I am cheering for whoever the coaches put on the field. And that's it. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, it's man, it's just there are a lot. We'll end it with this, Pat. For all of the good things that have happened in this program, there's like, it feels like there's a foundation of trust and stability on a high level. But then you got to blend it with all these moving parts, the new Ash defense, the new quarterback, the O-line's beat up. And that's where I think people struggle, because you want to believe there's a proof of concept and some data there on the upside. But then there's these moving parts. You're just not sure what you're going to get. And that leads to anxiety that we're going to have until you get data against Miami.
Right. Like, I understand, John, why you obsess over it, because it's your now profession. That's your job.
Yeah.
Right. But it does. And look, anyone do what they want. I'm not saying that if you read everything and you watch all the podcasts and you're involved in everything and you're crazy, that's your choice. Do what you want. I realized a long time ago that I would become obsessed with it, and then when they lost a recruit, I would lose my mind. And I don't get that anymore, because I realize they're 18-year-old kids. They're going to make crazy decisions, and they're going to make bad decisions. They're going to make good decisions, and I'm not in the mindset, so I don't understand. So my life is just a lot easier by watching your show, sticking with your show, and watching the football games, and that's it. That's all I need, and I get everything I need out of Notre Dame from that. And then when something pisses me off, I call you up and I bitch about it, and then I go on with my.
It's a good place to do it. Pat, thanks a lot. I'm assuming you got a 10. Yeah, I'm assuming you got a 10 o'clock. Hey, thanks for jumping in. Enjoy the rest of the British, will you?
Hey, look at WPP. That's something nice about me.
I know.
Way to go, WPP.
I know. What the hell's going on here? It's making me feel awkward. Pat, thanks a lot.
Oh, well, hold on. Let me answer this question real quick. Why would they believe every word from Marcus Freeman? I don't think they should. Again, another reason why I don't trust them. They don't push back on Marcus Freeman either. Okay, goodbye.
All right, goodbye. Oh, man. We got some energy today. I like the way you're thinking. Chicago's very own. I'm going to pull you up. I still got my main man, Tom Chris. Let me do a couple chats. $20 hour Tom Chris. What's up, John? Looking forward to this season. Cooking up some new things to bring to the tailgate. I can't wait for the Always Irish family to get some watch some ND ball. See y'all soon. These guys are fantastic. They're the ones that make the little cup, the whatever what do you call it? You put your cup on it. They got all the different color stuff, the one that lights up. We were at the bar. What was it? The Friday before Blue and Gold, we were at the bar. It was dark in there. We had a neon always Irish sign in the back going off. That all comes from those guys. Very, very, very loyal and very skilled with the stuff they put together. That's for darn sure. Andrew has NDPTSD. Here's the deal, Kent. I know you know this, but I'm going to tell you anyways, Kent. Anybody who doesn't know Kent by now, he's the resident Ohio State guy. I'll just text Andrew all my points, and then everybody will agree. Kent, you got to know how this is. This is like when somebody talks crap about your family, you're like, that ain't happening. But when a family member talks crap about other family member, it can go on. You got to understand, a Notre Dame person saying the same critiques is going to get a different reaction than you with the exact same thoughts. That's just how it works. That's how it works. So go ahead and send Andrew an email with your points. He'll do it, and then people will agree. You're the outsider. People think you're going out of your way to hit Notre Dame, and they don't like it. They don't like it, damn it. Tex ND. Carr shaves his head. You know he's the real deal. I do like that. That's a little bit of throwback there. I like it. It ain't no Brady Quinn. It ain't no Just for Men, Sammy Hartman. I'm getting down to business. He buzzes that stuff like G.I. Jane, baby. You know what I'm talking about? I'm pretty impressed. I remember that movie. That came right to. Remember when she buzzes it? Buzz's girlfriend, Wolf, right? Troy, John should run for office. He's the only Kennedy I'd vote for. There's precedence for that. And the signs are already made. We just need to bring them back. I like that. $2 holler from the main man. Hey, the Cotter giving it the pooch. WPP. You know something's going on when WPP and the other Pat agree. $10 holler. Mr. Cotter's distrust of the sports media is justified. They lied and concealed to protect Brian Kelly. But then why believe every word about Marcus Freeman? A slobbering love affair with whoever's the ND coach. It's a tricky dynamic, man. It's a tricky dynamic. Michael's my middle name. It's a family name. It's not Fitzgerald. It's John Michael Kennedy. And I'm not the third, the fourth. It's not all father, son. It's generational. The first son in each generation, regardless of who the dad is, gets the name to make sure it keeps going. So, my dad's not a John, but his older brother's a John. But my dad had the first boy. I got John. Then my brother had the first boy. So now he's the John Kennedy. You get what I'm saying? V1 rotate, $5 holler. Trust them. They told us for the last decade we have the best wide receiver room in the country. Oh, man. It was eye-opening, you guys. It was eye-opening. The week after Kelly left, some of those podcasts and writers, they were letting it fly about here's how he was recruiting, and they had to prod him to do this, and he wouldn't fire up the jet to do that. And a lot of stuff did come out. I'm not trying to defend the media side because I have one leg in that lane. It is a really tough thing to do, to be critical of a program and head coach and maintain access to do your job. That's all I'm telling you. I'm not justifying anything one way or the other. It would be really hard to go in there with really sharp, hard-hitting questions every week and nail the people that you need to keep happy enough to keep getting invited in the meeting room and in the press box. I don't think people think. They think freedom of speech, say whatever you want. Yeah, you could say whatever you want, and there are consequences, though. It's really tough. It's a tough dynamic there that you need to be in good graces with this operation to do your job, but you have negative things to say. How do you square that circle? It's tough. It's really tough. Chicago's very own Tom Frawley.
Just what this world needs is a lot more positive John Kennedys. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, Tom. This is an interesting discussion today. I feel like everybody's just trying to think of where they're at in their own mind. I don't know. How are you? Everybody's trying to build a bridge. Everybody's building a bridge to camp to not lose their mind with all the unknowns. That's what I feel like is going on. I don't know.
and hey, it's perfectly normal. Andrew brings up some great points. I respect Andrew. Patrick knocked it out of the box. Pat Connor knocked it out of the box today, and he hit the nail on the head. Why are we worrying about all the stuff? You got to let the coaches do what they're doing. Now, when Andrew starts picking stuff apart, yeah, I mean, close examination, the prom queen's got a little bit of acne. She might have some cellulite on her ass. Who knows? We won't know until we lift up the dress. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, come on, guys. The upside is unbelievable. So last night, I watched all the playoff games last night again. And I'm just looking at the talent, that offensive line, the healthy tight ends when they could play well, if they get cooking. Just the tight end room alone is going to be a great dynamic no matter who plays and starting at quarterback, right? But I did notice the dropped balls versus Penn State and early on against Ohio State. There were seam routes, 13-yard dig routes that Riley Leonard made that CJ Carr will have that ball right on the button, catching Faison and Greathouse in stride in the open field. This is the dynamic that we're looking at, right? So there's an upside here we haven't seen since the days of Jimmy Clausen and Brady Quinn. And he puts the whole thing together. Now, when you were talking about the Angeli factor and what was going on in practice, here's what we know is the eyeball test of Angeli. He was so susceptible to the sack. Now we've got two quarterbacks. Yeah, they don't have Angeli's experience, and the athletic upside is much greater than Angeli. I love Steve Angeli. What a great kid, right? I wish he would have stuck around. I still wish Pat Coogan would have stuck around. I don't understand that one. That's a head scratcher. I'd rather be a backup on a great Notre Dame team than be a starter and having to play for Signetti. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, but Tom, I do understand though. I totally understand the position Notre Dame fans are in though. They're totally they're thinking about all this leading up to Miami, and there's just a lot of questions, and you're wondering how it's going to go. And then you have some people that are going to be on the negative, expecting the worst, hoping for the best. You're going to have some people that are convincing themselves it's all going to just be fine. And then there's other people in the middle going, I don't know. And I just have to be able to live with that until we get the data from Miami to see what level this is starting at. I totally understand. It's kind of buy your own adventure until we get the data to be able to have facts to go off of. It's kind of pick whatever is in your mind to get you through. It's natural. What everybody's doing is natural.
Well, to be honest with you, I see the potential upside here is what I'm talking about. And, we're not going to get that from the Notre Dame legacy media. Patrick and Andrew done brilliant.
I'm having trouble. Hey, Tom, I'm having trouble hearing you. I don't know what's going on.
How's that now? Is that better?
Yeah, it's way better.
Okay, sorry about that. I said Andrew and Pat were talking about the legacy media that covers Notre Dame, the regular beat writers. Do we trust them anymore? And the apple polishing that they did with Brian Kelly, boy, West Palm Pat was right on the money there, and so was Patrick Connor. And so I don't trust them as much as I used to. But for so many years, you can take a guy like Tim Priester, and he was really the gold standard, And
call is no longer being recorded.
Sorry, he's the gold standard that we kind of waited for his intel, so we knew what was going on at Notre Dame. But now the coverage is totally different. You've got other fellows that are other journalists that are close to the program. They've got access. But like you said, John, you see 15-minute clips little windows, and then they get the press out of there. I still think that they're look what Notre Dame did with special teams and the trick plays last year. Those different trick plays that they would run to catch the team off guard. That's all done with the special teams coach and Marcus Freeman, and that's done. The press was never going to see that, right? There's a lot of other things that is seeing how many snaps is the starting quarterback going to go. I mean, we're not going to know, right?
Yeah.
But the talent that's there. Look, we have been screaming and begging the heavens. Can we get a young Notre Dame quarterback that can just come in maybe sophomore year and take the reins over? Now, remember, the last one to do that, I believe, was Brady Quinn when he substituted for Carlisle Holiday in the Washington State game at Notre Dame Stadium. I think it was the second game of the year. And I'm there with my buddy Jimmy Egan, and I'm screaming, put the kid in. Put that kid in. And of course, that team didn't have the talent that Notre Dame is, but you knew Brady Quinn it would be, a test under fire. He'd get thrown into the deep end of the pool real quickly. Well, TJ Carr or Kenny Minchie has a top offensive line, and they've got running backs. Just to watch, you forget how good Jeremiah Love is, and his nuances, and then the nuances and the running style of Jadarian Price, and then the rest of the backups. I mean, wow, Aeneas Williams, he played. I didn't think that kid could catch a pass. He's got hands. Look at the weapons that they have. I understand the reticence to get excited by Andrew, but this is a different looking team. So
I think it's eye of the mind of the beholder from now until you probably get through A&M and you have some numbers and data points and you know where this is at. I think this is a project of all Notre Dame fans getting through this period of time however they can in their mind, and everybody handles it differently. All sunshine, all negative and scared, somewhere in the middle. That's what I think we're seeing, and I think it's very natural for diehard fans to be that way. And I think you could articulate arguments for all of those positions on the high side, on the anxious side, and somewhere in the middle. I think you could make really good arguments to defend being in any of those camps. That's what I think's interesting about this. I think you could defend all those positions. I really do.
Honestly, there's another component to this is fandom. Like Pat talked about fandom, right? Well, do you see the interest that Notre Dame is getting from other fans, the LSU fans, the Ohio State fans, Miami fans? Now, there was a Facebook post of the Fighting Irish Flyer. They posted something about Shane Gillis, some recent thing that he did talking about Notre Dame and Ohio State. Well, that was like catnip to the Ohio State fans, and they come out of the woodwork. 7-2, you haven't beat Ohio State since 1930. That's all they got to beat the drum on. I said, why are you focusing on that? I said, you just won the national championship and you beat Notre Dame. But guess what? We're coming for it. I can't wait to see how Notre Dame actually gets better progressively every year and becomes a powerhouse in the next 5 years. We'll see them again in the playoffs, and that's going to be a different game. I was never confident since 1995 and all the times we played Ohio State. I was never confident because they always had the upper hand, and credit to them. But I want to see them line up against the fully loaded Notre Dame team, and then we'll see what's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fact that those fans, and then there was a Miami fan that came on and he started talking his tripe, and I got into it with him, and they're so delusional. I told him, you have no idea the beating that you're going to get on August 31st. You just don't have any idea.
Man.
So I bet him $100. set them up. I said, we're going to smoke. We're going to smoke them like a white owl.
Tom,
And that's how confident I am.
This is going to be, it's all going to build to, that's the other thing. All of these discussions we're having and all these debates, they're going to intensify for the next month and a half till you get, they just are. Everybody's going to be in their own head. You get to the night before the first game, and I always have this feeling of like, thank God we're going to have actual data, not what if this, what if that, what if this, what if that. Like, people are going to lose their minds till you get the result and you have tangible evidence to look at.
I'm just going to have fun with it from now on. I got that poison out of my belly today when I tangled with a Miami fan. Oh my God. What a vapid fan base that they are. The only time they show up is when they play Florida State and Notre Dame. The rest of the time, you could shoot a cannon through that Hard Rock Stadium and barely hit anybody. They're not fans. It's just amazing how cocky people get, and they show their hand with the Notre Dame venom and hate. They can't stand that we're back up on the pinnacle of college football. And here's the deal. It makes the game much better, and they're jealous. And I love that about Notre Dame. We're back, baby, and they know that college football is a better product when Notre Dame is good.
I like it.
Can't deny it.
I like it, Tom. Hey, I really do.
Let's have fun with it.
Yeah.
Let's have fun with it. We got, 44 days till kickoff or 43 days till kickoff? That's going to go by very quickly, except the last 2 weeks. That always drags. And we're waiting for that injury report. And, oh, God, and I'm starting to sound like Andrew. Oh, what if the sky's going to fall? What happens to this guy? Listen, they're deep. They're deep. They got talent. Let the coaches do what they got to do. I think after watching those games again last night, you kind of forget for a while. And when you physically see the offensive line just manhandle, when they were banged up, they were throwing guys around. Sure, they lost some battles, but to have Jeremiah Love and company, wow, that's the best stable of backs I've seen in quite a while. I hate comparing because it's different eras, different running style, different offenses, but my goodness, how could you not be optimistic?
Yeah, it's man, it's just it's select your own adventure till we get the data. Tom, thanks for it. Really is. It really is. You got to do. Everybody's built different. Some people are all on the negative side until they're proven otherwise. Some people are convinced we're going to be undefeated every year, no matter who we play and what this situation. You got to do what you got to do to survive. Tom, thanks for calling in on a Friday. And I got something. I'll send you back a video probably later tonight.
Amen, brother. Take care. God bless. Go Irish.
Have a good one, Tom. Oh, man. That guy loves him some Notre Dame ball. The captain's in the house. Mike Goolsby. What's going on? Cap. John, you doing a Saturday show. Cannot have plans. People coming over to the house, swim, whatever we're doing. I do have plans, so I can't do that. But we'll be at it from then on. I think we're going to be doing the Saturday night shows. 330, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Hey, John, how's it going?
It's going very well. A lot of interesting perspectives today on the phone lines. A lot of people working this out in their own head. Where do you fall on any of these discussion items?
Well, I was thinking, John, somebody like you that has made so many contributions to the Notre Dame community deserve one of two things: either a statue or a song written about him.
I think the statue would be more permanent and quite funny, and a song that could go any direction. Who knows what you're going to get there?
Well, lucky for you, I don't know how to carve a statue, but I do know how to write songs.
Oh boy, I'm a little nervous of where this is headed. What? I'm a little nervous.
Don't be nervous. You'll be flattered. It's only about a 45-second to a minute song. Do you mind if I bestow it upon you this morning?
We can try. Let's try and do it. I don't know where we're
All
going here. Let's see.
All right, here we go. John in my lunchbox at work. When he starts to talk football, he goes berserk. John in the place where I live. Think about his brain. Wonder what's inside it. John Anglesby on Monday Night Raw. Stinger gets so jealous he bashes his head against the wall. John. Oh, John. John Kennedy, everybody. Oh, John. That's right. That's his name. Oh, John. Oh, John. In my lunchbox at work, you never know where he will learn. The Frank Leahy Bible is what he is reading. John's hairline is quickly receding. John in my lunchbox at work. Oh, yeah. John in my lunchbox at work. Everybody. John in my lunchbox at work. Oh, yeah. John in my lunchbox at work. Oh, yeah. Everybody, one more time. John in my lunchbox at work. Let's finish it up, guys. John in my lunchbox at work.
I don't know if we're going to get a Grammy, but I appreciate the effort. I don't know if we're going to get a Grammy, but I'll take it.
All right. Well, I can write another one if you like and call it another day. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's
I came up
good.
with.
That was good. How did I get into your lunchbox though? Did I shrink? What did I do? Or do you have your phone in the lunchbox playing me, and that's how I'm in your lunchbox at work? How does that part work?
So I don't know. I have a really messed up mind, as you can tell. I'm not quite right.
I've gathered that.
Really
Yeah.
screwed up.
At least you know it. Self-awareness is the key to life, right? At least you're aware.
Well, I'm at work right now, and somebody I thought I was alone for the moment, but somebody heard me. But oh well, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shut up, Gary. But,
shut up, Gary. I'm making songs. Oh man.
Yeah. Like you haven't wrote a song about somebody before on the internet. Oh, good. Well, anyway, John, did you want to ask me a question about Notre Dame football before I leave?
I kind of, but I'm all thrown off right now. Kind of. I would like to ask, what is your mind frame heading into this season? Are you glass half full, glass half empty, totally wait and see neutral? Do you have built-in belief, even with the question marks here entering the year? What do you think?
Well, a good question. Well, after that Northern Illinois loss last season, we kind of snuck up on people because people thought we were finished.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, this year we're not sneaking up on anybody. Everybody's gunning for us.
That's a good point.
That includes week 1 against the convicts down south. But I'm glass half full. I think we'll be fine. Whoever the starter is, people talk about how Kenny has an extra year on CJ. Yeah, but they have the same amount of years in the new system, Denbrock's offense. So I think Carr will be the starter, but if Kenny is, whatever. But yeah, it's whoever is the starter, they're going to go through their ups and their downs. But good news for them, they have a stable of running backs behind them, a very good offensive line, even without Jay Gasol, a great defense. So I'm half glass full. I think it's going to be hard to go unbeaten, but on paper they could go unbeaten. But I think they'll be fine. But who was that last caller? What was his name? Tom?
Tom, yeah, Chicago's very own.
Yeah, he's my favorite caller, by the way, on your show.
Yeah,
I think he's great.
You never know what he's going to get. He's got this really diehard, follow all the rules Catholic side to him, but when it comes to football, he lets it rip. It's the best of both worlds. I love that guy. I absolutely love him.
Yeah, I mean, I like when he calls and talks high school recruiting.
Yeah,
he kind of has the inside track on all that recruiting stuff from Chicago. So I really look forward to his calls. I think he should call in more often.
Yeah.
But, anyway, John, I'll let you go. You probably have more callers, but I just wanted to call and share that with you.
I appreciate that. I do. I appreciate the creativity and the effort. I don't think Gary does. Your coworker Gary doesn't. I think he has some questions, but Gary doesn't know. You know, he's not a Notre Dame guy. Gary couldn't understand. You know.
Screw Gary, and he better not go to HR or you know, he's going to be facing the consequences. But yeah, anyway, John, yeah, he's barking up the wrong tree. You hear that, Gary? You're barking up the wrong tree. But
yeah, I love it, man. Hey, just don't lose your job over writing a song about my stupid ass. It's not worth it, okay? Just don't get fired because you're writing a song about me. Don't do it.
Yeah, you got a good point there, John. But if I would, it'd be worth it. You know, you do a good job on here, so I really appreciate what you do.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. You need to keep in touch, man. I never know what I'm going to get when you call. Give me a call again when you get a chance soon, okay?
Oh, I will, brother. You keep up the good work, and I'll talk to you next time, whenever that is, okay?
Yep. Have a good one, man. Dude, the best part about having a call-in show is you never know what the hell's coming. You never know what is coming. I know. You would at least think if a guy is doing a song like that, he's at home in his own living room or something, not like in the lunch workroom. That was so funny. Shut up, Gary. Screw you. Should I be scared? I got to tell you, some weird things are happening on the phone lines. Number one is, am I dreaming or was I hearing extra voices on Tom Frawley's phone call? Tell me if I'm dreaming or not, but I was hearing beeping and other voices, and it sounded like my phones were tapped. Again, second Chicago outfit. Like, what do I look like? Joey the Clown Lombardo over here? Like, what are they tapping my phones? Did you hear it? It was like, we are recording your call. What? You had that, and then I'm in this guy's lunchbox. You never know what you're going to get here. And then the lunchbox thing was the best part, other than him yelling at Gary. How do I get, he said he's barking up the wrong tree if he goes to HR. I don't want this guy to get fired just because of my stupid show, man. Like, it's not worth it. Oh my God, that was funny. Oh man. John in my lunchbox at work. I don't even know how you come up with that as the main line. Holy crap. Yeah, Johnny can start selling Shut Up, Gary. It's like, it's the closest thing to Back Up Terry. You know what I mean? You could put Back Up Terry on a t-shirt and everybody knows what you're referencing. Oh my God, that's really funny. Oh, that's good. 574. What's going on? I don't know. I have no idea, dude.
I got the Fed that call because I thought I was going to be on after Tom Frawley, and that'd be like, you know, the Island Boys coming back out after Snoop Dogg.
I'm an Island boy. I just can't. Dude, I just, man, yeah, I got you. You got me? What the hell's going on here? What is this, amateur hour? Phil, I got you. I don't have you. Call back, Phil. I'll wait. Call back. Something happened. Call back. I'm listening. The Shut Up Gary thing was it was perfect. What's up, Phil?
I don't know what happened there. Every time I go out to my car at work to call you, it's like something with the phone gets screwed up.
I think I might be tapped. Did you hear during Tom's call? This phone call is being recorded. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, I did hear something, but anyways, yeah, I'm glad I got to follow this last caller because if I had to follow Tom Frawley, that's like the Island Boy coming out after Snoop Dogg.
Yeah. Dude, maybe I should be an island boy for Halloween one time. Could you imagine how funny that is? I'll get a dumb hairdo, put fake tattoos on my face, and I'll talk like an island boy. What do you think?
You would actually do pretty good at that because you could pretty much imitate anybody.
Dude, yes, somebody's saying my new show's called Always Tapped. I think I'm being listened to by the feds. Phil, what you texted me this morning that you were going to try and call in. I want to give you, anything on your mind, or if you had a concept you wanted to go for, you thought of, or whatever, man. What's on your mind?
Just a couple things real quick, football wise. Then I got a couple things to say at the end. And I called in the Ohio pod last night, talked to Eric, and I brought up a couple of people on Notre Dame. I think keep an eye out for that. I'm excited to see. I think before the year's over, we're going to see some big plays out of them if they stay healthy. On offense, I'm kind of looking forward to see Garby Lambert, 6'7", 323. He's a big dude. Then of course Will Black's coming in, another big.
Do we know what the time frame is on Gerby, when he's going to be ready and good to go coming off the injury? Do we know? Do we have clarification on that, of what that recovery's been like?
I'm not exactly sure. I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, I haven't really heard anything. I mean, I'm sure Freeman's going to give updates when they open camp, but I haven't really heard much about him lately.
What about on defense? A player that he showed signs of making plays, and then I haven't heard anything from him in a while. Jason Anye. You there, John?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, Jason Anye on defensive line. Have you heard anything about him?
Yeah, I think we're expecting him to have got to have a good role, a good year.
Yeah, he's showing some good signs. So I'm kind of, that's a guy on defensive line, I think, that could really, we need somebody on the interior to step up and make some plays. Him and, Rubio too. But real quick, I'm going to say something else, and then I'm going to let you go, John. I got to get back to get things finished up here at work. John, I just wanted to thank you for everything you do. All the stuff you do for the group. None of this would happen if it wasn't for you putting on the tailgates. I know Pat had a big part in that too. You mentioned, and we've met a lot of friends. I think Texan D called in. I think it was him Wednesday.
Yep,
and kind of said the same thing. And actually, Texan D, I think he was at the last tailgate, and I apologize if I didn't walk up and introduce myself. I apologize for that. I'll maybe hopefully see you at the Purdue game. But yeah, a lot of the friends, John, we've become very good friends outside of the tailgates and stuff. And, Cotter family, I can't thank all of them enough for the hospitality, and letting us, enjoy their place. Angela's family, great people. Her and my wife have gotten pretty close with each other, and it's just crazy now. How we've all become just good, genuine friends.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's a special thing and a special group. And I always tell you this, Phil. You and your family and your extended family, I will always have an extra soft spot in my heart for you guys. You were among the first people that showed up to the very first tailgate we ever had. And that means the world to me. I was telling Pat, like, what if we do a tailgate? Nobody shows up. I'm like, whatever. I'll always remember you guys unloading that car and all those people. And you were one of the first groups at the first tailgate show up and want to be a part of this. And I'll never forget it. That means more to me than I could express.
That's one of the best things we ever did, John. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. One more quick thing that I got to get out of here. Jay Carr's family, great guy, great young man. His dad and I got to be pretty close at the IU game, and we talked a lot about Notre Dame history, Notre Dame football, and him and his partner drove up from Texas Wednesday night and met with me and my wife at a pizza place there. And he says to me, Bill, I have something for you. And well, let me go back for a quick second. Last week, he got on the phone with me and he said, hey, before we meet, make sure you watch that 30 for 30, the Catholics versus Convicts. And I said, all right, I promised him I would. Didn't think much of it. I was wanting to watch it anyway. Anyways, we're sitting there at the table and he says, Phil, I have something for you. And he hands me an envelope. I open this envelope. I'm kind of shaking a little bit because I'm like, nervous. Like, what am I about to open up here? And I open it up, and it's an original 1988 Sports Illustrated magazine of the Catholics versus Convict game.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's great.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that sucker framed up and put behind the bar. But hey, I got to get going. My wife's got a company outing on the boat, big boat on Lake Wallacea tonight, so I got to get things done here at work. So
Perfect, man. Hey, you guys
way over there.
Have fun. Thanks for everything, Phil. Being a part of the community. I'm so glad everybody's real life friends now, beyond just football, but real life friends. It's the best part about doing all this. And but I'll always remember you guys were among the first people to show up. I'll never forget it. Thanks for that, Phil.
All right, man. I'll let you go. Love y'all guys. Love the chat. Chat room's the best, man. I sometimes I get so wrapped up into that chat, and then I'm like, it dawns on me, I wasn't even listening to the last 5 minutes of what the caller just said. So then I got to go rewind it and listen to the call.
Yeah,
but,
it's never boring.
I appreciate everybody. What's that?
It's never boring.
Nope, it's never boring at all. So, all right, man. You guys, everybody have a good weekend and everything, and we'll talk later.
Have a good one. Love you, Phil. Man, they are the nicest people. Just the nicest people. 740, welcome to the show. First time caller. What are we dealing with here?
Hey, John, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. What's going on? Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Yeah, long-time listener, first-time caller.
I love those.
Lifetime Notre Dame fan.
I love those.
Yeah,
Thanks.
man, I appreciate you. Yeah, appreciate you taking the call. I know you're cool with Bruce in Florida with the format. That's how I called in one time when you were on his show, so I'm good friends with Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce is a good guy, man. He is. He's
amazing.
He's another one of those people I only met through Notre Dame and doing all this, and have become friends with. Really, really good dude, stand-up guy, family guy, good dad. Like, I love Bruce, and so I got to get back in touch with him now that football's coming back. Nicest dude in the world.
Definitely do it. He's got a great mindset. He loves the game. He knows what he's talking about. He's my venting. He's my venting outlet when Notre Dame's like going 0 for 7 on third down and stuff. I always vent to him. So he's a good guy. He puts up with me.
Yeah.
But I was curious. I didn't get to hear the entire show. I caught on late because I had some stuff at work. But I heard some of the discussion about the Notre Dame legacy media. I think Tom may have touched on it, where he doesn't trust them. And I'm curious, like, what are your thoughts? Because I know you say it how it is. What are your thoughts on this idea with the QB battle? Because it seems like we're equipped to have a successful season. A lot of it's pending on, where we go with the QB position. And I don't know how genuine it is that Carr is the guy, or is this like Notre Dame legacy media putting the narrative out there that CJ is the guy? All we really have to go off of so far as the spring game.
The things that I've gathered made it seem like this is Carr's job to win, and that the high upside of his arm potential it will make him win that job. And so I don't know how open of a true competition it's going to be when camp starts or not. I don't think anything's totally decided. But if I had to put money on it, I would put my money on Carr right now. And I've just heard some things that lead me to believe maybe even if they're talking competition, that Carr's a little further down the road of winning that job. So I think I would be surprised if that didn't happen. But I also don't think it's totally a done deal. But if I had to put money on it, I definitely lean Carr.
I would agree. I like Penny. But the points you're making as far as the arm talent, some things that we did see in the spring game. Now, how do you truly evaluate a spring game? You know, how much stock do you put into that? But we did see Carr make throws that we're not typically used to. He was getting the ball down the field. So from that perspective, I would probably agree. But a lot of this has to go with some of the stuff Tom was talking about, where we've seen time and time again where the typical Notre Dame media, once they have their mind set up, they're not going to push back on anything. And I kind of correlate this to like some of the previous years what we've seen going on in the QB room, where, you know, I get it. It's a little bit different because you're bringing in these transfers, but it's like the job was just handed to these guys. That could have been established once the transfer and the NIL deal was established. We don't really know, but it seems like once the media machine kind of paints the picture, it seems like everybody just falls in line and there's not allowed to be any pushback. Similar to when Kelly was coach, you know, it wasn't until he walked out the door then you saw everybody saying, "Well, this is what really was happening." And it's like, well, how can I trust you today if during the time you covered for the guy, and now that he's not here, now you're taking your shots? I look at that with the quarterback rumor. It's like, are you guys just playing along and not giving a transparent, observation on the QB room, or is this just kind of like the typical Notre Dame media? Well, we're told Carr's the guy. We're not going to push back. But I would agree. If all we can go off of is the spring game, from what we saw, it definitely looks like Carr has the most elite arm in the room. I think Kenny offers some things with his mobility that are impressive that maybe Carr, lacked there a little bit of. But this all goes back to a little bit with, and this is going to sound kind of tough, and I get it because he was dealt with a transfer quarterback that was probably promised the job. But when I look at the offense last year, I get they put up a lot of numbers, and the scoreboard reflected, record-setting points and all this. But a lot of that had to go with our defense taking the ball back, getting it in the end zone. And I think we could all agree. We love Riley. He took us to somewhere we haven't been since 2012. But there was definitely limitations on that offense. And Riley's lack of ability to have any type of precision passing and press the ball down the field. I just hope we don't get stuck in this where we're in a situation with QB where it's like, we were told something, the position was given to somebody that it wasn't necessarily earned. It was basically a promise, or like there was a narrative that we had to uphold, and maybe we were stuck with another offense where it's like, man, we can't move the ball down the field. We're stuck on third downs. Defenses know what to prepare for, and if the bread and butter doesn't work, we're stuck.
Yeah.
So I was just curious on your thoughts, and I trust Goolsby's insight too.
I think it's just hard, man.
A lot too.
I think it's really hard in spring, especially, to come out with these narratives because the media, everybody's hungry for information. You only get to see like 20 minutes of camp per day, only the parts they want you to see. And it's really, really hard to understand what the real narrative is. One day, Angeli looked the best, and all the articles saying it's his job to lose. Then one day, Minchie was making great plays. Then you love what Carr could do. I think it's really, really hard there. I just, for a lot of different reasons, have an inclination to think it's going to end up being Carr, regardless of Freeman's going to get up there day one of camp and go open competition, whatever. It may be, but I think Carr's leading it going in, and it'll be incumbent on Minchie to catch him. That's kind of how I see it, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. That's pretty much what everybody's kind of going into this thinking, and that's where I don't know how genuine it is. Which, hey, if Carr wins it out, good for him. I'm all for it. Whoever's under center, it's blue and gold all day. I'm happy.
Yeah, and you know what else I think too? I think this. I think Kenny Minchie and CJ Carr are both going to have to contribute this year. I don't know why I'm saying that. Yeah. I'm not saying, I'm predicting somebody gets really hurt. I'm just throwing it out there. Whoever loses the job, I don't think it's like if it's Carr, then you're like, oh, we're never going to see Kenny. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Kenny package to keep him engaged in the defense off balance or whatever. But I just feel like both of those guys have got to be really ready to go.
It wouldn't be a bad idea. And that's not to say that you pull a Malik Zaire, Deshaun Kaiser situation. Give one drive and kind of figure it out on the fly. Establish a starter, but I agree. If something happens injury-wise, you have to have someone ready and like you said, engaged. And I wouldn't be against Minchie having packages. And honestly, I wouldn't be against, and maybe some of these games where you go up 3 scores, put him in. Put the backup in and let him play a second half. Let him play a quarter and actually let him run the offense. Don't just put him in there for the last 2 drives and hand the ball off. Like, listen, these guys come to Notre Dame to play. So when the opportunity's there, let these guys in, let them get some reps and get some live bullets. I would love to see both of them play, and I wouldn't be against a Minchie package. Like I said, the mobility he offers, there's something there that with our running game and the stable running backs we have, like, my gosh, like, you could have a killer package with a couple guys that are a threat to take it to the house on their feet, but I would agree. I want to establish starting quarterback, but that doesn't mean you can't factor in both.
Yeah, it's a huge dynamic. And it would be a little less pressing if you were starting with Miami, Ohio and not Miami Hurricanes. You know what I mean? There's no time to spare.
Exactly.
Whoever's the starter, there is no leeway. There's no warm-up games. There's no huge margin for error. So that is ramping the pressure up. Whoever it is got to be pretty good right away.
John, I hate to do this, but I'm a pessimist like you, and I'm going to throw this out there. Is there a world where, hypothetically, let's say Carr is the starter, and he's in a new environment on the road against very good athletes in Miami, and things don't look good for the first quarter, the first half? Is there a world where they throw Kenny in, and then we have a quarterback drama situation going forward?
Yeah, that's difficult. That's something I've thought about too. Like, you got to be careful if you're going to do this, so you don't want to turn into a drama every single week of who's doing what. I think you kind of got to hitch your wagon to a main guy, but I think it would be dangerous if you get into a thing where there's all that kind of, who's it going to be this week? Who's it going to be that week? This and that. I don't know. So I hope there's some complementary roles, but I don't know if you want that drama unless it's that they both do great, right? Like, if they're both doing great, then give me the drama of who should be the starter. But if one guy struggles a little bit, you're going to have people going, kick him to the curb and go with the other guy. You got to be smart and mature with how you handle this.
Yeah, I agree. And if there are mistakes, part of me feels like, yeah, you want to win the game. Part of me also feels like, man, kind of stick to your guns, let the young guy learn, because they're both going to make mistakes given the youth. So it's like, kind of take the growing pains, and you don't want somebody being under center looking over their shoulder. I mean, mentally, nobody wants to deal with that.
Yeah.
The quarterback.
Yep, I think whoever the starter is, you got to have some faith. Like, you're going with the young guy. He's never started before. You got to have some patience and some faith for the journey. It's going to be really, really interesting. But it wouldn't surprise me if both those guys had to contribute in a big way.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, John, I appreciate you taking the call. I'll let you keep it going, man, and hopefully I'll call back again sometime.
Hey, thanks a lot for the call. Save the number. Dial me again.
Sounds good. Hey, a side note, I'm to dinner tonight, so after the food blessing, I'm going to throw in their Notre Dame undefeated season.
I like that.
We'll get some extra prayers.
Yeah. Give me some clergy on our side. I like that. Have a good one.
Hey, brother. Thank you.
Take it easy. Man, interesting day on the calls. Let's finish it up with the main man, Martinez. Maybe. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, move that now. Oh, Johnny, how are you? Johnny, are you there?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hear you. Yeah, I got you.
Hold on, Johnny. Hold on, buddy. Hold on.
There we go. You gotta move that shit now. Are you there?
Yeah.
Johnny?
Yep. We're good.
Hey, sorry, I had to take this wall down real quick because they messed up on it. Hey, real quick, you know why your phone's tapped, buddy? I'm gonna tell you why your phone's tapped. You got a Cholo on here in me. You got Mafioso and Tim. You got Chicago's muscle, Tom Frawley.
Yeah.
You got a hacker in Andrew Gilmore.
Yeah.
And you got you as and you're a Kennedy, buddy. You got a damn most wanted list for the FBI, brother.
That's a really, really good point. They could take out another Kennedy. They could go after the Mexican cartels. They could go after the mob. They're gonna take us all out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I was thinking, yeah, man, that's why his phone's tapped. But
That's really,
no,
it's honestly really funny how well-rounded they could take out every group they want to take out on this show alone.
I know, right, dude? Yeah, like great calls today, man. Great call started by Andrew Gilmore. You know me as far as recruiting and rankings. I kind of don't really pay much attention because I do and I don't, because the thing is, I've coached kids. I've coached kids that have been busts, and I've coached kids that have gone on to have some like amazing college careers. I played with guys as well, so I don't pay too much attention to the rankings. Although, I mean, it does help to an extent, but I mean, you never know, right? Because it's like, for example, Justin Tuck's story, right? They weren't even there to recruit him. They kind of found him by dumb luck. And he says that, right? They were there to recruit somebody else. And they noticed him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and then what else was the topic? And as far as trusting the staff, John, I watched that interview. And that's kind of what I want to say. I watched that interview. And when I went to coach at the school that I did, that I said we produced a lot of D1 athletes. My buddy that played at SC made a good point. He goes, look, here's why all these Murray kids come to play here at Conwood. They go across town to come play here. Because look at Cecil. Cecil was a big 300-plus pound lineman that had a voice that could make James Earl Jones sound like Pee Wee Herman. Our defensive coordinator, man, was built like a Spartan. Our running back coach was built like Mike Tyson. And the reason I say that was like kids want to play for guys that carry that attitude, that carry that swagger, that charisma. And like I said, watching that interview yesterday with Marcus and hearing what he was saying, like I've said it over and over, I trust him because he doesn't have that attitude. Let's go in there and try not to lose, but we're going to come in there to win.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yep. It's, I get it, man. And there's just, I don't know, man. This staff has earned some level of trust and with what they did last year. It's just, there's still a lot of moving parts that you're just not sure of. And if you're going the trust route, you got to believe these guys know a lot more about what this team and these individuals are capable of than we do, and that they'll put them in position to go make plays. Like, you got to have a little bit of faith. It's not total blind faith, but you got to have faith in some things you haven't seen yet as far as some of these younger guys or the new quarterback or whatever, man.
Yeah, exactly. And, I agree with that about you and Andrew both, that our quarterback has never played an actual down of football. But this is where I'll push back on it. You remember Jim McMahon, of course, right?
Yeah.
Catholic boy going to BYU.
Yep.
Well, my offensive coordinator in high school was Matt Bellini, his wide receiver, the All-American. You know what I mean? And Matt used to use me for the scout team running back when we were playing these big power teams. And the scout team sometimes really comes through, man, and really gets these guys ready. So that's where I'll kind of push back, where I understand that he's not having an actual down, a collegiate down, where with the experience. But let's not forget that Notre Dame has the best DBs in the country, that any other college would love to have him, and he's been going up against them. The only difference is that they know our playbook, right? To where the opponent's not going to know our playbook. You know what I mean? So that's why I would push back on that whole scout team thing. You know what I mean, Johnny?
Yeah, that is always something to think about, is Notre Dame's offense practicing against the really good Notre Dame defense we've had. Like, that's had to have helped over the years, because most defenses are not as good as ours. I get what you're saying. It's just, Everybody's going to be on edge till you get some information in that you can work off of, and you're not getting that till we're on the post-game show for Miami. You're not. It's going to be all questions till the post-game show for Miami, and then we'll start to know what we're dealing with.
I agree. And I'll leave it with this. The Cotter giving it to the pooch. Said it best. At the end of the day, we're fans, we're opinionated. It's fun to see, kind of like if we're dreaming and we're wishing what we would do if we won the lottery. But we're not in those rooms. We're not in those rooms. All we can go off is what they're saying, what we see, when game time comes. But we're not in those rooms. We're not game planning. We don't know what the strategy is. We don't know the method behind their madness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, we can sit and dream and have a plan, but and think this and that, and we can go off paper. You know what I mean? And past records. But Al Golden said it best last year. Last year's team was last year's team. This is a new year and a new team, and I'm confident that Marcus, like I said, has that attitude. We're coming in to win. We're not trying not to lose. Johnny, man, I love you, man. I love the chat, brother, man. Like, really good show today, man. Amazing show for all across the board, man. Have a safe and blessed weekend, everybody. Onward, Notre Dame. Johnny, watch who you put on your phone on your show, man. You're gonna come knocking at the door, buddy.
I know. They're gonna bust in the front door. Hey, have a good weekend, man. Stay safe, stay hydrated at work, brother.
You too, brother. Love you guys. Bye.
Have a good one. He said you too. I think I'm perfectly hydrated in this basement studio with the AC. I'm fine. Oh, man. I don't want to know what he did to become a con. That is not my business. So I don't know. Oh, man. I got to tell you, we got a couple more numbers on here, but they're the ones who usually call in and then listen to the show. So I got to get going here. Anyway, so sorry if any of those few people wanted to call. Sometimes those numbers just listen on their phone while on hold. I got to tell you, really interesting today. I like the well thought out debate and how you're approaching this stuff. We had a string of calls there where it's really like not overly philosophical, but everybody kind of figuring out where they're lining up in their mind and why, and what they're believing in or why, or what they have anxiety for and why. I think it was a really good discussion. Really good discussion. And the wiretapping is funny. Johnny in that guy's lunchbox is funny. Him fighting his coworker Gary, he's probably getting in trouble by HR right now. I love this show. You never know what's going to happen when you open them phone lines, baby. I want to say this. Put a Baby Ruth in the pool tomorrow night. Classic. Yeah, that'll be... I should. I'd drop a couple of loose Snickers in there or something. See what happens. I got to be on my best behavior. It's like a wife's work party. So it's all these doctors and surgeons from the hospital and all this stuff. So I kind of got to be like, these are like fancy people, surgeons and all this stuff. And so I kind of got to like be a little normal. Yeah, like I'm from a different world than these people. I got to be like kind of more normal. It isn't the easiest thing. But I got to try and like act normal and be kind of calm. So I'm going to take it easy. Omar, thanks for that. I'll consider that. Yeah, it's going to be like when I was at Northwestern with all when I'm up in Evanston and everybody's smarter than me and I just see and I'm like, yep, richer than me, smarter than me. Don't talk to that girl. I could already tell. Richer than me, smarter than me. Like, I got to try and be on my best behavior for this party. So I got to keep the Miller Lite intake low, or at least controllable, and then like make sure everything goes fine. I love you guys. So no Saturday night show, but after that, this weekend, we're going to get back into it and we'll get going. We'll take it easy, Tex ND. And we'll... and we'll go from there. Yeah, they may be surgeons that make $800,000 a year, but they don't have internet clout like Johnny boy. They're over there saving lives, and I'm over here yelling about football. Oh, man. Anyways, you guys, this was attention is the currency of society. No Clayton Bigsby. Yeah, exactly. The fancy doctor comes out. I can't go. How much time you got, buddy? It's just not going to fly, man. Those people live in like another world. And it's just weird because I'm me and they're like in the medical world and they all think differently. I don't know. I don't know. Show us your face. Come on, brother. Show us your face. So I got to be on my best behavior tomorrow, and I'm going to try and just lay low and mind my own business and just be a good host and just chill out. But thank you guys. Please do your big. Yeah, I'm gonna. How much time you got, Doctor? I really appreciate all of the chats, all the calls, all the donations. This is. It's just this thing has a life of its own, man. I appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot. We'll see you. Be good this weekend.